Scrambling to his right, fires. That ball's caught by Evan Ingram to the 5. Into the end zone, touchdown.
I don't care if he's on our team or not. If that man, if he ran for mayor, sorry, Lenny, I'm voting for the Hurricanes.
And Trevor, you got to admit, at the last play of the game, when that linebacker came and hit him, he got right in his face. That's my quarterback. He got up there and they had to pull him away.
Man, y'all get off of T-Law.
He wasn't taking any crap from nobody.
Bro, let me tell you something about them Jaguars today, son. We ain't have not but 1, but 2, 3, 4 turnovers. That boy Trevor was eating like it was Thanksgiving, dog.
We got a good team, man. We just need to keep winning, man.
We going to the Super Bowl, and we gonna win that.
This boy got a hit.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, David Garrard, and E to the T.
All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Victory Monday. The roller coaster's back at the top again for the week as the Jags are riding high after a 36-22 victory over the Tennessee Titans. Where'd my music go, E? You're killing the vibe like that. What are you doing to me in here, man?
And I just be so hyped to hit. We going to the Super Bowl.
You're a little excited.
And we gonna win that.
Yes, I understand exactly where you're coming from. All right, folks, excited. Tony Smith, good morning.
Good morning.
David, how are you?
Hey, doing great. Victory Monday.
It is Victory Monday. Victory Monday after a road trip to Nashville. We haven't done that on this show, ever.
It's been a minute.
We haven't ever done it on Jaguars Today. They haven't
Never
won
had one of these, yeah.
on the road against Tennessee since we've been doing this show. This is like 9 years, so congrats. Hey, I think they unlocked a little bit of a sleeping giant yesterday, and we're obviously thrilled that the Jags can play relevant football for another week, and let's see where it goes with all that. We're thrilled just for the fact that the Jaguar fans, particularly the ones who made the trip, got to be phenomenal to make that road trip into your opponent's stadium and come out with the victory and have Trevor Lawrence dapping up and high-fiving everybody after the game. It was just an amazing scene yesterday.
It sure was. I mean, just watching the game, my wife is like, I've not had too many happy moments in that stadium. So it goes back even further. Yes, we won a few times there, but still, a lot of the games did not work out in our favor, and they were actually pretty terrible, most of them.
You weren't part of that, late 90s era. Do you hate the Titans like guys like Freddie T do?
Well, I was around when a lot of those, I call them older heads, were here. And so you got to feel a little bit of that, especially when, I was here at Tom Coughlin's last season and everything. So a lot of those guys were still here. And they let you know that we do not like the Titans. And so it kind of bled over to our group of guys. But, after that, it just became, it wasn't quite the same as it was like in the late 90s.
Well, and I think you hear Fred Taylor getting for the pregame last week, his comments that the Titans bring out the best of me as a player, worst of me as a fan. Yeah. And it was that kind of attitude from, as you say, the old heads, right? For this Jaguars organization, how big this game potentially could be to at least give you a feeling like, okay, the last month still has meaning potentially for this football team, and for the quarterback to not only play the way he did, but to be waving at Titans fans as he's coming on the field late, to point to the scoreboard to Titans players when they're coming after him on the last play of the game, just like, look at the scoreboard. Yeah. Look at the scoreboard. For, I think, Jaguars fans to exercise all that on the same afternoon, I mean, it should be a celebration today. There should be more, hopefully, coming down the line, even in the last few weeks of the season. But, man, it felt like a celebration yesterday.
It really did. And that waving and that pointing just shows you that they even knew that history. I mean, he's only been here for 2 years, but he knows that we have not won any games in Nashville since 2013. So to exercise all those demons, even for the guys that, were here in the past, he's basically saying, hey, this is a new team, new guy. So get ready for this. It's going to happen a lot more in the future.
All righty, let's not save it for last today.
10-10 Take.
Now, the 10-10 Take with Mike Dempsey, brought to you by Northern Tool. Start solving your projects today at northerntool.com. We're made for this.
Tony, picking up on what you're talking about there, I could not help but feeling yesterday. Now, look, the Jags are still 2 games behind in the standings, right? The Titans are at the top, and that's how the NFL is judged. It's not a poll that we think this team's better in the eyeball test. And yesterday, the eyeball test definitely in the Jaguars' favor. I mean, you look at that, you look at this division where the quarterback situations are. Houston is in disarray.
Yeah.
I don't know what Indy's going to do. Are they bring Matt Ryan back? And let's hope that they do, honestly, at this point. What does Ryan Tannehill have left in the tank? Maybe he's a starter there next year. Maybe it's Malik Willis. We've got the best quarterback in the division, right? And yesterday, even though you look up and the Titans are 7-6 and the Jags are 5-8, it felt like a changing of the guard. Now, I don't want to overplay that because you got to go out there and continue to back up that level of play. But what the Titans stupidly did at the end of that game, it wasn't bad enough that Trevor Lawrence dominated you on the field all day long, 368 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, ran for 1, didn't throw an interception, dominated you. You had to go shove the center back into him as they're trying to kneel down with a 2-score game. Look, if it's a 3-point game, whatever. Try to make a crazy play that's never going to get made, but whatever. It's a 2-touchdown game. And it was like you just saw a switch flip in Trevor Lawrence's persona, right? I'm sure he's got that in him, but he just carries himself as this calm, cool, collected guy. Been there, done that. Let's not get too high. Let's not get too low. But what you saw, Dave, was a competitor's instinct. Anybody that questions whether he's got dog in him or any of this stuff, I mean, he is in there chest to chest with Titan defenders. He's pointing at the scoreboard. He's taking a victory lap in your stadium. And what he's telling you, whether he's saying these exact words or not, is, I hope you enjoyed it. Your run is over. You're in first place now. You may win this division. But remember this as the day that Trevor Lawrence announced that we're coming for you and it's going to be ours.
You know what? I hope that is true. But I look at it as he was standing up for his team, and they're going to be doing the same as the season continues because we're going to play them again. And it's starting that rivalry all over again. Yeah. And that's great. And it might be between us and the Titans as far as who's going to, kind of fight for the division each year. I hope it is, because that is a rivalry that is budding, and we want to bring it back, but we want to be on top of it each year.
Well, in the early days, obviously, for the Jags, it was find a way to beat the Steelers, right? Mm-hmm. That was your way to win the division. We got to find a way to beat the Steelers on a consistent basis. Right now, it's the Titans.
Yeah.
Right? You got to find a way to beat them, and they've been so miserably bad against that franchise. And we go back to 99 and the scars that the fan base carries from what happened early on, and talking to guys like Fred Taylor and Leon Searcy and these guys, right? These guys that have carried these scars for that long, that are looking around going, where is your heart? Right? Like, what are we doing with this Titans game twice a year that you guys aren't as into it as we want you to be, right? To feel it the way that we felt it. This has meaning. Yesterday felt like the rivalry has meaning again. Yeah. And I think for a lot of young fans that are looking around at the older Jaguars fans and have been for years, like, what's the big deal? Like, what's the big deal? I think they got their first feel of, oh, that's the big deal, right? And watching the older fans react to it the way that they are, and they are reacting to that win against the Titans yesterday. And we'll see, Mike. I hope you're right. Like, it did feel like a changing of the guard. We said it going into the season, coming out of the year. You want to feel like the coach and quarterback combination that the Jacksonville Jaguars have is way better than the rest of the division. And yesterday was kind of planting a flag in that direction after a lot of reason to doubt that direction because of the ups and downs of the season. But yesterday felt like the planting of a flag firmly in that direction for the franchise.
And again, the Jags can win out, and they don't control whether or not they get to the postseason or not, right? Because that's the position they've left themselves in. But if this, in fact, look, even if you don't win all these remaining games, right, but you end on a high note, maybe you beat the Titans at home now in Week 18, and you got to sweep over them heading into next year, I think, Dave, that's the game we'll look at. There have been some great performances, but to go into Nashville with this team, with this franchise, and do that and announce it and then kind of steal their soul at the end of the game. You know, it wasn't bad enough that the scoreboard was what it was. They had to just rub their nose in it a little bit, and I'm sure it felt good for every Jaguar fan, like you said, Tony, who've been suffering at the hands of the Tennessee Titans for quite a while. Look, it doesn't – one game, if it's a standalone, doesn't change everything, right? You look at that Detroit game.
Yeah.
If that's not who you are, okay, then it's a one-off. Continue to show that yesterday's team is who you are, and everyone's going to get on that bandwagon, and it's going to be a glorious time here on the First Coast.